Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to our webinar on how to boost heavy civil construction project efficiency with digital construction analytics. My name is Uriel Shirazi. I'm the Director of Sales Engineering here at Datumate. It's great to be here with you today. Like we said, we've been to the ConExpo 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was much better to do it face to face, but we live in this global world, or global village, we can say these days. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome my colleagues who will be joining me in presenting this webinar today. We have Tom.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Tom Jennings, located in California, Senior Solutions Engineer here at Datumate. So my background is in physics and computer science. I've been building and flying drones for the last 12 years. I'm a private pilot, and I actually got to spend 2 years on the Apple Cupertino headquarters, flying that job site and working with their resident engineers and BIM team. So I'm here to share all my experiences with you. Thanks for coming.
Perfect. Thank you, Tom. Kobe.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kobe Shaiken. I am the new Customer Success Manager for Datumate. I just recently started, and my responsibilities are going to be to manage our customer success in the United States mostly. So I'm really looking forward to being part of the team. I come from different industries, but I bring with me a vast experience in working with customers. And so I'm really excited to be here today. And I'm looking forward to speaking to you in the future. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. So in today's webinar, we'll be discussing how to use ground and aerial imagery to easily map, measure, analyze, and report on heavy civil project progress. We'll be also demonstrating how you can use Datumate, our 4D construction data analytics platform, to track the progress of the project, to detect deviations and prevent costly rework, to enhance the collaboration, reduce uncertainty, and improve efficiency. All of these are challenges that we all know from the construction industry. Also, we learn how to compare between the digital as-built to the design and create automated engineering reports, which this is something that we believe in, the uniqueness of Datumate that was developed and is maintained by civil engineers like me, surveyors, and customer success people, that we believe in automation, making processes easier for our customers. So let's get started. Kobe, over to you now.
Thank you very much, Uriel. I will be talking about digital construction analytics, how they benefit the stakeholders and of the project lifecycle. So digitizing the construction analytics is beneficial for most of the stakeholders across the project lifecycle, regardless if it's the owner, general contractor, or subcontractor's organization. These stakeholders will see improved collaboration, increased time savings, decreased risk, and greater efficiency. One of our customers, WRS, found that by flying the site using an RTK drone from a secure location, they were able to decrease risk by keeping surveyors out of the way of heavy equipment. The drone data could be processed in hours and shared across the enterprise so that decisions could be based on real-time data. Progress is measured against the design files so that costly mistakes are discovered immediately or eliminated altogether.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Kobe.
Pass it back to, and I'll hand it over to Tom. Thank you.
Yeah, so before we jump into the platform itself, let's take a look at some of the use cases so everybody can better understand how our clients are using digital construction analytics in their existing projects. One of the most interesting use cases I've seen lately comes from ATS Construction in Kentucky. Dylan Murphy uses Datumate to overlay as-built drawings over the 3D model of infrastructure projects. What we see here is a design file representing the construction requirements on the job site. Dylan is able to compare the design files to the 3D model to identify any unexpected changes made by homeowners or man-made objects that are going to interfere with utilities. Before setting foot on the job site, he can use the annotations tool to document all of these visible conflicts on the project. The annotations tool provides a screenshot of each conflict, comparing the 3D model to the as-built file, so that visualizing the problem is easy. He hands over a PDF report identifying all of the conflicts to the owner and architect to fast-track pre-construction meetings. I've been working directly with the team at ATS, and some of the other benefits of the Datumate platform they have cited are transparency and collaboration with the owners and subcontractors, real-time analysis and progress tracking, and detecting and reporting on conflicts between the designs and the real world. Of course, making the leap to digitization does have challenges. End user resistance with the initial rollout and training is one of the most common challenges. For any company starting or scaling a drone program, it is critical to find the roles for each individual. My experience with Western Engineering was that as soon as the engineering services saw the power of the drone data, it wasn't a question of when they would roll out the drone program, but how fast and how efficiently they could scale it. Datumate is a cloud-based solution, so scaling your drone program across your entire enterprise is simple and effective.
So I wanted to ask a question regarding the transparency and collaboration with the owners. You've mentioned the ATS, a contractor that works with Datumate. That's something a bit unique as what we see.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in a subcontractor role, but they still share all of that information back to the owners. The owner has complete transparency. It really is just an amazing way to reduce disputes. Everybody's exactly on the same page and knows what's going on the job site. Through Datumate, we have unlimited free viewer licenses, so people can access that data and stay in touch with what's going on the job site.
And I think that this is one of the advantages of collaboration and sharing the data between all the stakeholders. Everybody sees the same single source of truth, and everybody works together to the same goal. Instead of the owner, contractor, subcontractors are fighting and disputing, or doing claims management at the end of the project or during the project, change orders. All of them work together to the same goal, which is to complete the project within time, budget, quality, schedule. Yeah, so a great example. Perfect.
Yeah, everybody's well aligned. So yeah, let's take another. This is Always Excavating. So they're using Datumate for a really interesting use case. They're performing mass haul analysis on the job site to avoid costly hauling fees. I'm actually going to read directly from our client, Aaron Dork here. We had already started work on this project before we introduced the platform, said Dork. There's a specific area of the site where the biggest bill for the project was needed. We wanted to track the progress of that bill because we had to make a decision about whether we could complete the site work with material we had on site or needed to bring in extra material for this. The first time I went out to check progress on the site, I had to do a topo on foot, and it took me about half a day to do that, just one small part of the site. After that, we started using the drone and the Datumate platform. All I needed was 20 minutes to fly it, and I didn't just get the information about the small part of the site. I got all the information I needed for the entire site. Aaron found the Datumate platform was a huge time saver, and he was able to collaborate effortlessly with his teams in the field. Over to you, Kobe.
Thank you very much. So in this example, I'm going to talk about our customer Phil or Peel. In this case, we're going to show how using Datumate has cut down 50% of time spent on site. So here with our customer, Aaron James, it's not unusual for him to drive long distances to the job site. In fact, he would drive hundreds of miles every week prior to using Datumate to visit work sites, to carry out foot topos of the terrain, to calculate stockpile volumes, and check progress. In addition to being very time consuming, it also poses physical and safety risk. So in the case of Hampton Lumber Mill project, it takes James about an hour and a half each way, which totals a half day of work. With Datumate, he can send another drone pilot to the site while he works on other things in the office. So instead of spending so much time on site, he is only spending about 15 to 30 minutes on processing the information he received. He continues and says, I've been down there about 10 times since we started working on the project. I estimate that I would have at least doubled that, 20 or more times, if we weren't using Datumate. In addition to the amount of time this would have consumed, it also would have delayed the project itself, as I am extremely busy at the moment.
Good example.
Another example we have is of Advanced Civil Group, a real estate evaluation. So the Advanced Civil Group in Southern California uses Datumate on more than 30 different projects in parallel. One of these projects, located in Huntington Beach, belongs to the Olson Group, one of the largest home builders in Southern California. Steve Austin, president of ACG, explained that the imagery taken would be presented to the owners so that they could make an informed decision about whether the property was good value for the money and what the next steps for the construction would be. And he says, one of our biggest challenges is always access to adjacent properties for elevation data. In this situation, while ACG had access to the property that was being surveyed, there were 9 separate landowners that abutted the Huntington Beach property. It was critical to understand each one's elevations in order to present accurate data and recommendations. So Steve is able to leverage his drone program to deliver site data in hours rather than days.
Thank you very much.
Now I hand it back to you, Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Kobe. Yeah, so those are just some of the real world use cases our clients are taking advantage of. You know, we're really just scratching the surface. Drone data is so valuable that there's really hundreds of use cases, just depending on what you're trying to accomplish. So now let's take a deep dive into the platform to better understand what the capabilities are.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. So I'll start by showing a video of the Datumate platform. We'll run it through. And like Tom, you were saying, I think that our platform is a cloud-based. It means that you can log in from any computer or tablet with an internet connection. And once logged in, we see all the projects or some of them as the admin allows us on a map, and also on the left side on the digital notebook with the images and some more information about the project. We chose one of the projects and we're visiting it. In the center, we can see the 3D model from a given date. This model is geo-referenced to the state coordinate system at a survey grade accuracy of sub-inch. Datumate supports any coordinate system, including local ones. You can see that we can zoom in and tilt the model. And when I move my cursor, you can see the XYZ coordinates change on the bottom right corner of the screen. At the top here, you can see the timeline. each of these bullets is another flight, and all of them together allow us to manage and track the progress much more efficiently. On the right side, toolbox for engineering calculation. Everything is done here at a survey grade, so everything is at an engineering level. And all of our calculations are being saved on the left side. For example, analytics, cross-sections, measurements, annotations, which are geolocated points of interest in the model, designs that the user can very easily and simply upload and overlay in Datumate, which we will show in a few more minutes. And of course, in order to add another flight, the user clicks on the Add Flight button, simply throws in the drone images to Datumate, go through a very simple and fast process, mostly automated, and soon after, Datumate will generate the model in the cloud, and the user will have access to it.
Thanks, Ariel. Hey, so I am 2 months into a 7-month postgraduate course on artificial intelligence and machine learning with Python from the University of Texas. I am really excited about the opportunities to use AI for object detection in the point cloud and training models to improve analysis for infrastructure construction. So at Datumate, today we are using artificial intelligence to auto-detect and mark the center of ground control points. We've trained the model to identify all of the major symbols used to mark control points. One of our clients preferred to use chevrons on the ground, so all we had to do was train our system to identify those markings. Right away, your UAV and survey team are going to experience big time savings when our platform is marking ground control for them. So as the construction industry continues along this journey of digital transformation, there are tremendous opportunities for companies to streamline their processes, increase efficiency, and retain their competitive edge. Datumate's virtual ground control points save valuable time and money while maintaining the survey-grade accuracy of construction site mapping and modeling. Let's think about how we can use real-time kinematics and virtual ground control points to save time on the job site. The initial setup involves laying out physical GCPs and manually measuring their locations. The DataBIM AI engine automatically identifies physical GCP marking structure and center points. Beginning with the second flight, the DataBIM automatic georeferencing algorithm identifies features existing in both flights and creates a set of virtual ground control points. In every subsequent flight, a new set of VGCPs is created based on data gathered in the previous flight, eliminating any further use of physical GCPs. So, as noted, the virtual ground control points rely on the power of AI-driven automatic georeferencing and imaging processing algorithms. As soon as the DataBIM system creates the 3D photogrammetry model of a construction site, it begins matching up images and features that it recognizes from previous flights. The more often flights occur, the more information the system can process and learn about the location, ensuring that models take into account any changes to the terrain over time and remain enduringly accurate.
Thank you, Tom. I wanted actually to add that we have recently, a few months ago, have launched the manual monument marking for the GCPs, for the ground control points. It means that even if the GCPs were eliminated or if they're still visible in the site, we can add monuments that we detect from the previous orthophoto or from the previous model to the new images. For example, markings on the road or a corner of the pavement or any other distinct element. We can tell Datumate that the same point from the previous model is this point from in the images of the new model, and Datumate will use this information to georeference and enhance the accuracy of the new model according to the previous model. So that's another capability that was added to our platform. And by the way, we are speaking about all kinds of terms and interesting things. Maybe the audience have some questions, so feel free to write them in the Q&A box, and we will review them later at the end of the session.
Yeah, being able to combine the manual monuments with the GCPs and automated detective monuments is a great system. Really makes things easy on the pilots. So now we're going to talk about pre-process models. So you already have an existing drone program with your own photogrammetry workflow, but want to take advantage of the Datumate cloud-based tools for analysis and collaboration. We have the perfect option for you. Datumate makes it easy to upload pre-process models generated in Metashape or Pix4D. All you will need to do is have your orthophoto and LAS file all ready to upload into the Datumate platform. I've seen many clients use this as a clean and easy method to scale their drone program from a desktop-based photogrammetric engine to cloud-based. The benefits of cloud-based solutions are eliminating siloed data, sharing data across the entire enterprise, scaling drone programs across the enterprise, connecting field and project management workflows, and the easiest thing is really takeoff reports, generating 2D takeoffs and 3D quantities from a single solution.
Perfect. And indeed, some of our customers were migrating from desktop solutions where only the surveyor had access to the data, and he was working the entire day generating reports for the different project managers. They couldn't really get access to the data, only to the final products that were given to them by the surveyor or the drone operator. But with Datumate, users can log in from their home office and work on the project. Yeah. So thank you, Tom. I wanted to speak a bit about designs now. Datumate supports multiple designs formats, such as DGN, DXF, LandXML, DWG, and IFC also. This is an example of 5 miles or 8 kilometers project, a road project bypassing a city. And in the first example that I wanted to show you, we overlay a design of a stockpile that was measured by a surveyor, by the site surveyor of the general contractor. We can right-click on the stockpile and very easily generate a volume calculation. Let's say we are the owner and we would like to validate the amount of volume that the contractor or subcontractor brought to the site. Instead of marking the stockpile manually, we can use the design. We can choose any base surface that we want. It can be a previous flight or a design file that we upload to the platform, or just the interpolated elevation, or we can set an elevation to define as the base surface. Few seconds later, of course, all the information is being calculated in the cloud, and few seconds later, we get the numbers and we can make the accurate comparison. Again, very accurate, very detailed. In this example, same projects, but a few months later, towards the end of the project, we can overlay the design of the road. We can verify that the construction is following the design, that the road is not exceeding its limit. We can get real accurate data, again, from anywhere at any time. In this case, we overlay the layer of the lights on the sides of the road. We can inspect them. In this case, we see that there is a deviation between the light pole to the design. We can measure it. We can open an annotation or a ticket, an NCR, or maybe the project manager or the project control decides that it's not a problem, and he only needs to update the as-built or for the final dossier. We can inspect, of course, many different elements. In this case, we see this one. This one is more or less better. We can overlay and track any other layer, of course. In this case, the waterline or grounding works. And in this example of an 3D IFC design of a light rail bridge, our customer uses Datumate during the design stage, wanting to see how the new light rail bridge will incorporate in the existing environment, above the ground, but also below the ground, as you can see now. The amount of work and the effort that he needs to invest in this project. And a good comment or an additional information about this project, our customer won the tender or the bid using Datumate. He flew the drone before submitting the bid, and using accurate estimations, he could have provided the best price for this tender. And now he uses Datumate for design. In the future, we'll use it for the construction stages as well. Back to you, Tom.
Yeah, thank you. I love being able to visualize the IFC files inside of the existing three-dimensional models. I think that's a really great capability. So now I'll tell you what, we're going to jump over to automated engineering reports. You know, at the end of the day, generating these kind of reports is really being able to share the information. So Datumate offers a suite of valuable tools designed to make measurements and analytics simple and effective. The Datumate cross-section analytics tool allows users to make a cross-section of any surface to visualize the elevation. You can then add other design surfaces or flights from the project so that you can monitor change or track progress. Our clients asked us to create the cross-section report for the entire road project, so we put our team to work. We're using the power of machine learning to bring automated engineering reporting to the infrastructure construction industry. A key benefit of automating reports is the amount of time it saves in manual data wrangling processes. The removal of these manual processes frees up significant time for key staff, allowing them to focus on more important activities that enhance business insights and drive better decisions. I like to think we're putting machine learning to work, taking mundane and tedious jobs off the plates of engineers so they can focus on what is important. So the cross-section volume report will generate tabular and visual volume calculations of the finished grade and subgrade surfaces against the existing 3D model. And now that the tool is automated, the report can be automatically generated as needed during the life cycle of the project.
Perfect, Tom. Thank you very much. And it was my bad that I stopped the video, so I'll keep it running a bit more. And here is the tabular view that you were speaking about. And indeed, this report, we actually took an example of this report from one of our largest customers, like you were saying, and we just copied it and automated it in the platform. And I think this is the best way to work with customers. We see our customers as design partners, that they really influence the roadmap of the product, and they really get the feel, or they really do work together with us. We're not only software providers, but also consultants and part of the project team. Over to you, Kobe.
All right, thank you, Tom. So in addition to the engineering reports that Tom discussed, we also have an automated grade checking report that Datumate provides. And the grade checking is an important task for road construction. Since the road is built from layer over layer, the construction team must verify that it's built according to the design before progressing to the next one. Datumate allows its users to easily compare between the current site conditions using 3D model or from traditional survey to the original design of the different layers. Databeam provides an automatic report showing the delta between the design as it's built, between the design as to the way it's built. Databeam, once that delta is small enough according to the project standards, the team can progress to the next layer. This report and others save hours of work on site and in the office. Over to you, Uriel.
Thank you very much. And in this use case, I wanted to speak a bit about automation, some more about automation. In this case, automated detection of construction elements. In this example, we see a construction of a substation. You can see now also the diff tool in action, Databeam's diff tool that allows us to compare between different flights across time or visually see the changes. As part of the project and the use of Databeam, our customer asked us to automatically track the different stages of energization elements in this substation. You may think that it's not an issue to manually update the status of the different elements. You can do it from the computer. You're saving already the time of walking in the site and writing everything in the notebook. But this specific customer builds dozens of substations a year, thus saving numerous hours of manual labor. Databeam leverages its artificial intelligence to complete this task and generate automatic reports to the customer after each and every drone flight. And here I will explain you how the process works. At the beginning, our customer provided us with images of the different stages. They didn't have to be drone images, just man-held camera. So stage 1 was the ground. Stage 2 are different types of excavations, as you can see. Stage 3 is the concrete works. Stage 4 and 5 are the steel installation and electrical components. Eventually, in this project, the customer had 6 different electrical components that are built at the top of each steel structure. And by combining and merging the information from the raw images that our customer sent us, from the designs that he provided to us, and the 3D model that was generated by the drone or by Databeam's engine from the drone images, Databeam could then have generate this automatic report after each and every upload of a new model to the platform. Like this report, for example, that provide information about the different stages of the foundation work. So we have 10 foundations are in the ground stage and not started, basically. No foundations are in the excavation stage, which is the second stage, and 4 piles were casted with concrete, the third stage. Moving forward in the project, in this report, we can see that 14 foundations the foundations was completed. The erection of the steel structure was completed in 4 elements, and the 93 energization elements were fully installed, almost at the end of the project. These are only a few examples of automation that brings the Databeam brings to the construction industry. Eventually, like we said throughout this webinar, our purpose is to save time, to automate processes, and to help the end users to be smarter engineers or smarter workers at the site and also at the office. Tom, over to you.
Yeah, super interesting, Uriel. Thanks for that. One of the other things we're doing at Datumate is reducing uncertainty and using that to improve efficiency. So the next step for Datumate is support for 4D. That means that users can upload the schedule to the Datumate platform from Microsoft Project or Primavera P6. Users can view the Gantt chart and tasks, the critical path, and the amount of work that has to be done in the unit of work. Databim will allow users to tie the plan and the design they have uploaded into Databim to the 3D model. In this case, we can see a linear task, for example, excavation. The user can connect the design of this task to the task in the Gantt chart, and then update the design based on the real progress in the most recent flight. In this case, we see that excavation reached about 50% of progress. And then Databim provides the real progress in red compared to the planned progress in gray, allowing us to better monitor and track progress on the job site.
Thanks, Tom. So I wanted to show now how it works on live in Datumate. So the user uploads the schedule to Datumate either from P6 or MS Project. He can view it together with the Gantt chart. Of course, the different columns of the task owners, the units, the starting and the ending date, of course. Or the user can view it also with the 3D model, as you can see now. And the next step is to tie between the task in the Gantt chart to the design and to the 3D model in order to track its progress. So now we are opening one of the designs, zooming into it. This is a linear task, a construction of a supportive beam, and the yellow line is the design. And now we are adding the actual progress to the schedule. So we are adding the progress according to the flight of March. And we have about 80 meters out of 408, just the beginning, 4%. And now we can see it also on the graph. And the red dot is where we start. We're starting in a bit of a delay, as you can see. The next flight in April, again, we are adding the actual progress of the same structure element. Here we reached already 146 meters or 36%. And again, we see the same graph. So we have the red dotted line where we started. The second dot, red dot, is our April progress. The red line is the actual pace that we are working in, or the actual progress. The red broken line is the forecasted progress or pace according to our previous pace and our previous progress in this task. And the top red dot represents the ending date of this task, and the delta between the top red dot to the top gray dot is how late or how early we are in this task. In this case, how late we are, unfortunately. So that was the 4D capability. Tom and Kobe showed us today some real use cases from real projects that work with Datumate. We also gave you a sneak peek to the Datumate platform. Now let's move to the Q&A section. So if you haven't asked your question already, feel free to write something, and we will answer it, of course. I'll open the Q&As, and I'll start with some questions. I think, Tom, since you are a drone pilot, this is a question for you. What type of drones do you support?
Great question. Databim is drone agnostic. All we need is a drone that geotags the images with metadata. We do recommend RTK drones. We're seeing much better results, significant reduction in the number of ground controls required. We've got clients using Wingtra. We have clients using the DJI drones. You know, there's a lot of questions coming up about the Blue UAS list. You know, I don't, all of the data I've seen doesn't indicate there's any proof that data is actually being shared to China, but I certainly think that's very important depending on the infrastructure you're working on. But yeah, we really work with a whole host of different drones.
Perfect. Thank you for the elaborated question. Another one, what kind of design files do you support or Datumate supports? Kobe, you want to take it?
That's a good question, Uriel. We get asked that question quite often. So we support 2D and 3D design files, as well as surface files such as DXF, DWG, DGN, and land XML and IFC. Great, thank you for that. And indeed, we saw that 3D IFC, which is very very useful to visualize what we are going to build. So that's very useful feature or capability, and I think one of the most used in Datumate by our customers. Another question here: what type of projects is your platform most suitable for? I can answer that. So mainly infrastructure, heavy civil projects such as roads, railways, highways, waterworks, utilities, water reservoirs, power plants, substation, all of the infrastructure that is done in a residential and commercial developments. Datumate, our company, is based out of Israel. Here we work with lots of the owners. For example, the Israeli Land Authority. We work in most of their neighborhoods, the new neighborhoods that they build, and with the Ministry of Housing and Construction. For these types of customers, we develop the automated tools to make their lives easier and to help all the stakeholders to be involved in the project on a much more efficient way. So that's the answer. And another question: I'm a general contractor that works with owners. Is Datumate suitable for me? So I think, Tom, we spoke about it a bit. You'd like to elaborate?
Yeah, absolutely. So Datumate can be used to validate and inspect the work of subcontractors, but as we discussed earlier in the conversation, it's a great way to be completely transparent between a contractor and the owner. I think Datumate is an excellent platform for all the stakeholders in a project to be able to share information. It is most common we see that the GC is going to be responsible for flying the job site on a weekly, monthly basis, but then sharing that information with all the different user groups on a project.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, Tom, I broke you.
No, I had another question that's come up a lot with a lot of our existing clients, especially in pre-sales calls. People are asking me if I think that artificial intelligence and platforms like Datumate are going to replace surveyors, and the answer to that question is definitely no. We're always going to need surveyors on the ground. What our platform is doing is really simply improving the workflow of the surveyors. It's giving them more tools so that they can work more efficiently, be more productive, and get more done in a day. I've never talked to a surveyor in the field who said, "Oh, I've got just tons of time on my hand, and I wish I had more to do." It's really not the case in today's world. Everybody's overworked and looking for ways to improve efficiency. think tools like Datumate are really here to support our users, not replace them in any way.
Definitely. And two examples are, first example is one of our customers, a large GC in the US, told us that for each project he uses Datumate, he can save one headcount. It means that it doesn't mean that he's starting to fire people or let them go, but it means that he wins and works in more projects and expands to more remote areas because he has this capability of remote tracking the project. The surveyors save time, like you said, and they can hand over the reports not 1 month after, or not in a delay of 1 month, let's say the scheduling report, but on time. It means that this gap of a few weeks saves thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the project size. It's something enormous, and the ROI on the platform is amazing. And another example, just today I've sat in a meeting with a potential customer. We've demonstrated the platform face to face. We went to their job site, and they were super excited. Someone has raised the question, so is Datumate or automated tools will replace me? And of course, again, the answer is no. We always need the professional man or manpower in the field, which is starting to be more scarce and more limited. So that's the answer.
Yeah, we're here to complement the work these people are doing. Definitely.
Correct. Meanwhile, another question that I saw is how does your service work, and how is it accessed? Tom, do you want to speak about it, or I can?
Yeah, no, I'll jump in. So Datumate is 100% cloud-based software as a service. We are here to train and onboard all of our new clients, but at the end of the day, it's a tool that will teach them how to use and how to incorporate it into their workflow so that they can access the data, benefit from all the information that the drones are able to capture. I like to think of it as capture, collaborate, and consume. So you capture with the drone, collaborate, and then distribute reports generated. These automated engineering reports, volume, takeoffs, all the data can be shared across the enterprise. So.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I see that there are no more questions. Tom, do you have anything else that you'd like to raise from the top of your mind?
No, I'm guessing everybody could use a couple more minutes before their next meeting. So
yes. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Everybody go get some coffee before the next meeting, as Tom advises. And thank you very much for your time. Kobe, thank you very much. Good luck. We're super excited to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Tom, as usual, it's great to meet. And until next time. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.